Time for Open Mic on News Talk 1340 and 96.3 FM KWLM. I'm Todd Bergeth. A special show this morning. I love to talk baseball in the winter, where as we're recording this, it's Wednesday and it's snowing, and a couple of Florida guys joining us are former Willmar Stingers players, Michael Suchy and Jacob Barnes. Fellas, thanks for coming to Minnesota in the dead of December.
Well, thank you for having us here.
Annette Benson joining us as well. She was your host mom while you were up here. We'll talk with Annette a little bit here too. But, well, Michael, let's start with you. Off-season is here. You had a good year last year, your first full season in minor league baseball. So do you have like an exit meeting with your team as you go into the off-season? Are they saying, we'd like to see you do this or get stronger, cut down on your BMI, things like that?
The last 2 years I've done an instructional league right after season ends. So those are kind of the situations where we'll get to talk to some front office guys, other managers throughout the organization, and get a rough estimate of what they look forward to us doing in the years to come. And they're not necessarily formal conversations, more informal of just, hey, this is what we see. This is, things that we like to put you working towards, and that's where all those talks get to happen.
Helpful. They let you know right where you stand in the organization and what you need to do to continue to progress. Yeah, Jacob, how about you? A little more of a minor league veteran now, drafted in 2011, I believe, and making your way up through the organization. Kind of the same thing for pitchers as it would be for a hitter like Michael?
Yeah, for the most part. They never really tell you exactly where you're going to end up the following year, but they, at the end of the year and stuff like that, they just they always tell you what they, want you to keep working on or, improve, because everything you can always obviously improve on, but they just they're normally pretty general with what they say, but it's basically the same between pitchers and hitters.
Winter league ball for either of you guys at all? Do you go down south? Do they send you to Mexico, for example, or just to Arizona, anything like that?
I played Puerto Rico last year. This year I was going to go to Venezuela, but I ended up going to the Arizona Fall League. And so I didn't go, obviously, this year. But Puerto Rico was fun. It's a little different. It was not quite as much as much of a difference as like Venezuela or Mexico or something like that. But it was fun. It was definitely a different kind of style of baseball down there.
Yeah. Fall league for you too, Michael?
After instructional league, I'm going to try and do one of the winter ball leagues next year.
Yeah.
This was my first full season, so I just needed the break more than I needed to play some more.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, jumping up, and I think you played in over 120 games with your team, and they play up to 140, something like that. Kind of a grind, I would think.
Yeah, I like being in the lineup every day. It's something that I like to pride myself on. I must be doing something right if they have me in the lineup that much. So it's always fun, to see my name in the lineup. So that's what I look forward to. And as a fifth-round
draft pick, they like to see you advancing. 76 RBIs last season. You had a good year.
Yeah, I think this was a good turnaround for my first year. It was good to be the guy they look towards to drive in the runs and stuff like that. So that's someone I want to be in the organization. That's someone that I thought I showed I was this year.
Yeah. Any long road trips? Are you on buses in the minor leagues? I'm sure playing every day is the enjoyable part, but it's kind of the ancillary things around it that maybe can wear on you a little bit.
Yeah, in the South Atlantic League, we ranged from New Jersey all the way down to Georgia, so they were all bus rides, and we were lucky enough to be almost smack dab right in the middle of it, so we didn't have too many that were out of the ordinary as far as bus rides.
Yeah. What team were you with last year?
I was with Charleston, West Virginia, with the West Virginia Power.
Ah, how was that? Enjoy the town and the community?
Yeah, I loved it. We had a great fan base. We ended up breaking their single-season win record, so it was a great team, great chemistry. That always makes it a lot easier. Yeah. And I think the crowd definitely fed off it.
Yeah, that's fun. Biloxi, Mississippi, then, for you, Jacob, at least most recently?
Yep. That's in the Southern League this year, and we're kind of on a road trip for the first half of the year, so we didn't quite get the full experience. But once they opened up, it was nice to play in there. We previously were in Huntsville, so the fan base was a lot better in Biloxi than it was in Huntsville, Alabama. So we enjoyed it, and we had a really good team down there, so we had a lot of fun this year.
Right down on the coast, isn't it, Biloxi?
Yeah. Yep, right on the coast. There's water. There's obviously it's a big casino town, so that's about what you got. Casinos and the beach. So
the atmosphere is similar to your Florida guys and water and things like that. Kind of similar to hometown a little bit.
Yeah. It was probably one of the closer places that I played. Besides, obviously, when I played in the Florida State League, but it was windy there, hot, really hot, maybe even hotter than Florida. But yeah, it was probably the closest you can get.
Several stops along the way so far in your minor league career. It's a little bit of a vagabond lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the minor league lifestyle is definitely a lot more than people assume it would be. But you just kind of go with the flow and try to enjoy every minute of it.
Now, you had been a starting pitcher quite a bit during that time. It looks like you're transitioning to the bullpen more now. Is that fair to say?
Yep. The original plan, I think, was to keep me as bullpen because, when I played here and then in minor at Florida Gulf Coast, I was a reliever the whole time. I only started a couple games. And coming into the organization, I think they just wanted me to get innings. And then I did fairly well. And so they were like, well, we can keep him there as long as we can. And then eventually they said they got to a point to where they wanted to kind of push me. And so they transitioned me to where their original plan was. And so far, so good.
So you can get the Barnes Express going again?
Yeah. You can call it that, yeah.
That's good. So is it all about trying to build up miles per hour and trying to get you to be as much of a power pitcher out of the bullpen as they can?
I think the starting part was more because I didn't really pitch in high school. And then in college, obviously, I was a reliever, so I didn't really have a lot of innings. I think it was more for getting a lot of reps with the off-speed stuff because the fastball wasn't really the issue. It was more just, throwing the off-speed and getting more consistent with it. And so I think, obviously, the more innings you have and the more opportunities you have, you're going to get better at something. So I think that was the plan behind it, and that's kind of what they hinted at a lot. They try to be secretive about a lot of things, but, for the most part, they were pretty upfront about that, and so I just went with it.
Wanted you to develop a second and
third.
Do you even use a third pitch as a reliever?
Occasionally I do.
Yeah.
As a reliever, it's a little different. You don't have to as much, but there's some hitters that one off speed will work better than the other one. So you just kind of have to judge it off that. But for the most part, you go with two, occasionally the third.
Yeah. Michael, with you, are there specific things get you to hit the ball the other way or defensively? Was there anything in particular that they started working on with you right away when you hit the minors?
For me, they just want to see more long balls, really. I think I definitely turned it around. I only hit one my first short season and then got up to I got 10 in West Virginia. So they just want to see, obviously, more to come. And they always say the last thing to develop is power as far for hitters. So it's nothing that I'm too concerned with right now.
Yeah.
As long as I can keep getting the runs in. However I get them in, that's pretty much all they want right now. But obviously, in later development, they want to see, they want me to be a home run guy. So
hard to walk up trying to hit a home run, right? It has to come kind of just out of your swing. I mean, it's hard to go, I'm going to hit a home run this time.
Well, I don't know if Jacob can agree, but I think that home runs are always thrown and not hit. So
yes, completely agree on that one. Completely.
So it's not really up to me the whole time. I need a little help from the pitcher.
Yeah. A couple of Florida Gulf Coast guys here. Your careers didn't intersect there, though, did they?
No.
You were never teammates?
No.
But still you have the kind of that Florida Gulf Coast camaraderie, besides both living with the Bensons while you were here in the summers. Do you see teammates maybe from the Stingers during the year? Michael, have you faced any of your former Stingers teammates in the minor leagues?
Yeah, I faced Ricky Knapp when he was in the South Atlantic League this year, and I keep in good touch with Zach Tillery as well, who was in Low A and Cedar Rapids for the Twins. So
yeah. Jacob, anybody that you've kept track of?
I haven't really played against anyone besides in Instructs and the Fall League. So I never. Actually, my first year I faced Jordan Smith, the Willmar boy. But besides that, I think that's the only guy I really played against. In the regular season.
Do you remember the at bat with Jordan?
I faced him twice.
Yeah,
I believe, and I think he either grounded out or struck him out, and then I think he might have got a hit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I can't. Honestly, I can't remember. But it's one of the. I mean,
well, you faced.
Yeah. It's been a couple of years since then, so I can't remember. But
yeah. So as you're looking forward to this off season, Will they let you know where you're assigned, Michael, or does that not happen until spring training?
That usually happens to the tail end of spring training.
Yeah.
So it's this is going to be my second spring training. So again, Jacob will have more experience with that, but they always hint towards it and stuff like that. And but at the end of spring training, that's when we really know, within the last couple days.
Yeah. Jacob, what are you thinking this year? Do they give you an indication, or are they kind of secretive about it?
They're always, they're always secretive about it. I would assume it'd be AAA, just because of how it's gone. But you never really know. I mean, you could go in there and have a really good spring training, and next thing you know, you're in the major league. So you have no idea until you get there and kind of see what they're trying to do to you and stuff like that. So
you're that close. I mean, the Southern League, there's a lot of guys that jump from the Southern League to the big leagues right from there. So pretty exciting stuff, I would think.
Yeah. We had 6 people at the end of our season come from our team up to the bigs for the September call up and stuff like that. And then I just recently got put on the 40-man, so that helps a little bit. And so, it's pretty close so far. So
great.
Hopefully I get it.
40-man roster, that's a big step. They were trying to maybe protect you from the Rule 5 draft, something like that?
Yeah, I would assume they don't tell you until they give you that phone call. And then even then you can't tell anyone until they announce it. So, I'm assuming it did. I had a really good fall league, and then during the season I had a pretty good season as well. And I think it was a combination of they might have been planning on doing it, and plus they didn't want to, lose someone in the Rule 5 draft. So
better than a strikeout per inning this last year for you. Everybody talks about the numbers in baseball. Now, are you guys shown numbers by your managers? Do you talk about things like that at all?
We don't. I can't really speak for hitters. I don't think, from what I've heard, I don't think they really do either. But for the most part, they judge it more off what they see, because obviously there's a lot of things that can go into it. Like you can give 2 broken bat hits and then sacrifice fly, and that's you give up run. Or if you're a hitter, you can line out 3 straight times and go 0 for 3 on the day, but in reality it's a good day as far as how you hit. It just the results weren't there. So a lot of times in the minor leagues, you might see numbers that are a little not so true per se, and so they kind of base it more how they kind of see it and how the pitches are working, or how well you're making contact and stuff like that.
Has that been your experience? It's more the eyeball test rather than, hey, your OPS is this or something like that?
Yeah. Even in the Northwoods, Annette knows that I would never let her tell me any stats or anything like that.
Yeah. So you don't pay attention to that at all? You try and keep that out of your mind?
And from what I know, from what I've seen, a lot of managers throughout our organization don't really look at that either.
Yeah.
They like, doing their written write-ups after each game, and their Pirates are real big on that as far as, players who, the opinion of the managers. So that's why they hire the managers, and that's why they're in that situation to, critique or, say what they think about certain players throughout the season.
Make those evaluations. Yeah. Jacob, managers that you've had in the minor leagues so far, has there been some interesting characters you've run across so far?
There's always they always got their own little things, and there hasn't been anyone like way out there, but they all have their like little things that they do, and their ways of trying to get the team going, or making things exciting. But it's cool to kind of experience like the different personalities that you'll deal with going through the minors, and different coaches and their philosophies and stuff like that.
Yeah, different cultures too, Michael. I would assume that there's Latino players that you're playing with, and everybody kind of does things their own way, right?
It definitely is a different culture that you get to hang out with, meet, be around pretty much 24/7 for half a year. So
yeah.
But then again, we also have guys from Lithuania, Australia, all those type of places where they're just thrown out of their culture as well. So
Lithuania.
Oh yeah.
I guess I didn't think of that as a baseball hotbed.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty cool. Tell us about this individual.
Well, he was actually my roommate in West Virginia, and he was from Lithuania.
Yeah.
And he's been in our organization for, I think he was drafted when he was 17. So he's someone who's trying to tough it out in the minor leagues and figure some stuff out, and picking his brain about the minor leagues as far as the lower levels, and it was good to have him as a roommate.
Yeah, good guy to room with. Any language barrier at all, or did he speak English pretty well, or is your Lithuanian just that good?
No, he had a girlfriend who came and visited, and when they would talk to each other, we had no idea what they were saying. But it's the same for Spanish or anything for me. I couldn't tell you any of them. But yeah, we would always give him a hard time about his accent, and he would always miss a couple words in what he was trying to tell us.
Good to have a little veteran presence there with you, though. So, Jacob, you're here visiting the Bensons, who your host family when you were here with the Stingers. How do they drag you Florida guys up to Minnesota in the dead of winter? It's snowing and all that. Must really enjoy the time together.
Yeah. It's always a good time coming to visit them. We don't get to do it often, so when we get the chance, we try to come up and hang out with them and have a little fun and kind of relax and get away from the tough weather down in Florida. 75 degrees. And it's real tough.
And that's nodding. Why didn't you go? I know you guys do go and see some games in the summer, but you should go to Florida and visit them instead.
Well, that would be nice, but it doesn't work out with retail season for Art or tax season for me. So.
Yeah, that's true. So, Michael, talk about the Stingers a little bit. A two-time player up here, 2 years, and lived with the Bensons each year. And, people miss you still. I mean, they still have their Suchy bobbleheads that they enjoy looking at and that. It's fun to come back a little bit, isn't it?
It was definitely good to get those updates and have those when I called in and talked with you over the intercom. Those were good memories to have throughout the years past. But, obviously I miss the Northwoods as well, especially Willmar.
Yeah. Is it more professional now, more of a business, Jacob, than it was with the Stingers? Is there a little harder edge to it than the minor leagues?
Are you saying is it
a little more cutthroat in the minor leagues rather than with the Stingers? More of a family atmosphere with the Stingers?
Oh yeah, here's a lot more laid back. It's definitely more of a family atmosphere. You kind of relax, enjoy it. I mean, obviously you're trying to win and improve and stuff, but I mean, at the end of the day, when you're in the minors, you either produce or you're gone. That's about all it is. They're not really, they'll help you out and they'll do what they can, but it's about getting better and getting to the end. And if you're not cutting it, they're gonna just cut ties with you. Compared to here, to where they're just trying to improve or help you improve and stuff like that and get better every day.
Yeah, Annette, obviously you guys enjoy hosting Stingers players. A couple of your fellas here. Do you miss them then when they take off and go back to Florida?
Oh yeah, it was really tough, especially like the first year when Jacob was with us. So they get to be like family members, and when we dropped them off at the airport, it's like dropping your kids off at college. The first time it was kind of tough, but hopefully we're not too annoying. I know I have my camera out a lot, and they get annoyed with that. But I like to send their parents pictures and stuff, so they kind of know what's going on and feel like they're part of the experience too.
Do you take a trip each summer to see some minor league baseball then? See where your boys are playing?
We have gone. We've gone when Jacob was in Appleton. We went there a few times. In Montana, we made a road trip. Went and saw Michael at Jamestown when he was in his first year. And, it's kind of cool to have the Florida Gulf Coast connection too, because we kind of know some of the same players, and we've hosted also Garrett Anderson from there too. So that's been fun.
Well, Michael and Jacob, people have fond memories of you fellas and wish you all the best in the minor leagues. And thanks for coming and experiencing a little Minnesota winter with us this year.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
All right. Michael Suchy and Jacob Barnes, a couple of the all-time great Willmar Stingers. And